Hiya. Hey, Mandy here again.
Hey, why'd you stop that music? Those are some mean beats right there.
So sometimes we play our intro music here next to us because, you know, with all the technology here, just in case you didn't know, we can't hear that intro music as we start here. That's a pre-recorded intro.
So we use it to get ourselves pumped. We love it.
Yeah.
All sorts.
Totally get you pumped up. So how's it going, Mandy? How are you doing this Monday?
I'm having a lovely Monday. It was fantastic. I got to watch the Bruins from last night, so they lost, which was unfortunate, but
that is unfortunate. Mandy records every Bruins game, and if she can't watch it live, she watches it the next day.
And do you want to know why I record it? Because Terry needs to watch TV, and we only have one TV that has the cable, so I have to wait.
That's a fan right there. That's some dedication.
Yeah, so I get annoyed, like if I'm listening to the radio or something, they'd say the Bruins score. I'm like, son of a biscuit.
We can't have any news or radio stations happening that are saying that could remotely say anything about the Bruins from that night or that.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't listen to the news anyway, but I mean, anywho.
But I have to be careful when NPR is on in the kitchen, though.
Yeah.
We have to be careful. So yeah, this is a good Monday. And I work today at the old Whole Foods. So
bringing home the bacon.
That's right. Bringing home the bacon, literally, today.
Oh, yeah.
And King had a good day. He was with Barbara today.
He was with Barbara. He had a nice doggy daycare today.
Manny, tell him about Barbara and doggy daycare.
Oh, Barbara's our lovely doggy daycare person. I don't really know what exactly her title is.
He goes 3 days a week, yes?
He goes 3 days a week. She is an absolute love.
And she comes here and picks him up and drops him off.
Yes, she comes here, picks him up. He's there for 4 or so hours, and he comes back. He's pooped. He's lying at our feet right now because he's like, today was a big day. I got a lot done today.
I did a lot of sleeping in Barbara's yard.
Yep. It was the best day of my life.
I ate some stuff. I had some cookies.
I dug some holes in her yard. It was awesome.
A big day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I'm really glad that you're doing well today, Mandy.
Thanks.
And we thought for today's episode, we might talk about who needs a man. Well, we don't really need one because we sort of do already have a man of the house around, and it's Mandy.
Yes. And being a man clearly makes me quite appealing to the opposite sex. So there's that.
Spitzers for life. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody, please don't get offended by these gender roles. Again, we're not saying you need to do this or live by these rules. There needs to be any tradition whatsoever, but it's great for me because this is generally a harmonious split of duties around here, with me performing if the woman's place is in the home sort of duties, as we've talked about. Okay, cooking, cleaning, mood lighting, grocery shopping.
Yeah, and I mean, I certainly benefit from that, whereas I would handle the man's responsibilities like taking the garbage out, opening jars, unclogging drains, which is so awesome, carrying King, my 50-pound dog, up and down 2 flights of stairs,
when he needs it. Yeah,
that kind of stuff, that kind of shit, doing that, if you will. And when I'm saying shit, I mean literal and figurative shit. We'll get to the literal shit later, but just don't need to freak out about it. We'll get there eventually.
We'll get there. We will. Okay. In all seriousness, most of the time we're totally fine with no man around, and that's just great and no issues. But sometimes we've decided, right, kid?
Yeah.
It might be helpful to have a man around for some manual labor.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. So we're here to explain now how things go when one woman handles the man's role, or in some cases, no one handles the man's role, and what happens then.
Yeah. Like, for example, insects are right out of my wheelhouse. I will not touch one, especially a spider, because those SOBs will bite your face right off.
Oh, yeah.
Terry.
Their whole purpose on this earth is to jump on us and bite our faces off. I agree.
Yeah.
When there's a bug, this is true. We're at a standstill in the apartment because no one's going to do anything about it. No one's going to touch it.
Nope.
It might live there for the next 3 months in the spot that we find it, and we point at it and we're cringing and screaming, but we're not going to touch it.
We're not going to touch it. I mean, we're kind of just like, you leave us alone, we'll leave you alone, and just
silent agreement we have with all insects we find in the apartment.
Yes.
Yeah. So that would be nice to have a man around sometimes for that sort of stuff. One that wouldn't mind touching gross bugs. But
yes.
Mandy, there's another time that you really weren't acting like a man. That time that squirrel jumped onto your leg.
Yeah, that was a rodent. Squirrels are rodents, Terry.
That's
let's
true.
Discuss that. A rodent jumped on my leg. I had a moment with that rodent staring at each other where he could have ripped my eyes out. but apparently he did not due to a man that was there at the time.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll set the stage.
Yeah, Mandy, tell the story.
I will. So I was living on the first floor of the apartment that I'm living in now.
Home, yes.
Yeah. There were three of us here. It was me, Terry, and
my ex.
Yep. With King, which was awesome. It was a nice
having a great time.
summer evening. It was, we had a deck, we had a yard. It was absolutely amazing. We're all just hanging out, probably drinking a beer.
Yeah,
or something.
probably having a beer on the back deck.
We don't know.
King's hanging out, sniffing around on the back lawn
And loving life.
Yep.
It was a
peeing whenever he wants.
picturesque evening.
Scene. Yep. Okay.
So at the same time, I was on the first floor because the new landlord was doing all sorts of construction and the other
So it was your temporary
units.
living situation.
Right. So it was a temp living situation, which meant that there was some construction stuff in the back. There was a
Random furniture and things, appliances lying around.
yeah, like there was
property.
literally a refrigerator on the deck, as well as there was this one sheet of wood. I mean,
It's like a big piece of wood or sheet metal or something.
right? That was leaning up against the house. King comes up and he starts sniffing.
And it's nighttime.
It's nighttime, right? So all we have is like the light that's on the side, like the motion light, and King is sniffing at it.
He was all over that thing.
All over that and wouldn't leave it alone. Like it didn't matter. I was grabbing him by his scruff.
We're laughing and telling stories. We're like, hey, I wonder what he's sniffing at.
Yeah. And so eventually I went over to King and tried to pull him away. And at that time is when a rodent, AKA squirrel, jumped out of the side. I don't even know. I feel like it bounced off the refrigerator somehow. It was doing acrobatics, but landed on my leg.
On your thigh.
Right on my quad, my right quad. And it was at that moment, I'm screaming bloody murder, like, get it off me! And I just kept repeating that because that squirrel and I,
Confirmed, validated. You were.
those beady eyes were staring me down. Like, I'm telling you, Terry, it was at that moment, I'm literally sitting there. I'm like, this squirrel is going to crawl up my entire bodice and rip out my eyes. Like, that is what I was thinking.
Perch on your head. Start
It's
clawing your
It's going to
face.
scalp me. It's going to scalp me. Like, I don't know what this squirrel's going to do, but it's going to kill me. But luckily, Terry's ex was there, and I don't know what he was doing, some kind of crazy karate chop things with. I don't know. All I know is I was screaming at my leg, and then all of a sudden, Mark kicks and gets the squirrel off my leg somehow. And it was the most terrifying.
Traumatizing.
I still have PTSD from it. Which
You do, which I can't blame you because I would have freaked the F out if that happened to me.
I see squirrels on walkways, and I'm like, this thing's going to attack me. But it's fine.
Totally. You don't want to see a squirrel again. You don't want to come face to face with a squirrel again.
Yeah, it's a total rational fear.
Well, because, I mean, there are quite a few squirrels around here. But let me just say from my point of view that when that story happened that Mandy just described, it was really funny. And it was probably one of the funniest things we laughed about for months after that. We just laughed. Remember that time?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having a good time. I go inside, I think, to do, I don't know what I was going in for, but I was inside when whatever it was that landed on Mandy. All I know is I'm in the kitchen. I hear this commotion. It's a hullabaloo out back on the deck. They're both yelling. Mandy's screaming exactly as she said, get it off me, get it off me. And I'm in the kitchen and I'm like, oh my God, what is on her? It's going to be a gross bug. It's going to be something. And did I go out and help or check out?
No, you didn't.
No, I ran further away. I ran to the clear other end of the apartment down there and probably locked myself in a room.
Yeah. You probably shut the door. I think you shut the door to the kitchen. So we couldn't even run in if we wanted to.
Whatever. I was like, whatever's going on out back there, I don't want anything to do with that.
Each man for themselves.
Every man for themselves. So yeah, that's coming back and hearing the story was actually pretty awesome. But it was good to have a man around in that situation.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, generally speaking, Mandy, you step up when it's needed to help with really gross things.
I do. And I'm not happy about it, but I mean, if I don't, then you certainly won't. We've discussed that, especially when you need to unclog a drain. Anyone who's done it knows it's absolutely disgusting, but I'm doing it because God knows Terry's not. It's happened numerous times. I'd like to explain first that before Terry moved in with me, I never had a problem with clogged drains. Okay. So we'll start with that.
I don't believe that, but okay.
Well, it's accurate. Since Terry moved in, we had the drain clogged. It's happened numerous times, but the first time it happened, slow drain. And I was like, I got to take this out. So I proceeded to do that. I had to twist off whatever the thing's called to pull it out. And all that was there.
Use your words.
I don't know what it's called. The plug, I don't know what it is. I had to take it out. I'm not really a man, Terry. So I don't really know the words.
What do you think? I'm a plumber? You think I know every
I'm like,
part to the sink?
what do you think? So I pulled the thing out. There's just a crap ton of gross hair that's like wet, mushed together with like pink sludge, and it smells awful.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that it's disgusting. I'm explaining this, but this is what I do in my life. And it ended up it's just a foul, gross job.
Yeah, no one wants to
But
do
I got it done numerous times.
Yep, I appreciate that. So, yep, you unclogged the sinks.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Another time that I was really glad to have you around, Mandy, in my last apartment. And I remember I had the best cat, Lulu.
God, she's a doll, but I know where you're going with this.
Well, Lulu's gone now, okay, everybody, but that was not a good story either. Yeah. But we all loved Lulu, and so we called her Lulu Bean all the time, and Lulu Bean or just Bean or whatever. You know, she went by a lot of names. But
any pet owner knows names are just going to evolve. King's got 95 names, but
and so Mandy was over one time, and we're in the kitchen, and I had Lulu's litter box in the side pantry. Okay, it was a great spot, actually, because you couldn't see it. So we're just hanging out in the kitchen, shooting the breeze. And Lulu comes out of her litter box, per usual. And she starts walking across the kitchen, dragging the lower half of her body.
It was like she was possessed or something. Like, I was like, what? Her body was broken.
Her butt, she's just like a gymnast. She's just using her front two legs and dragging her body. But she was almost like pulling her legs in front of her like it was a gymnast.
It was the weird, like a body should not go.
It was scary looking, man.
Yeah,
and
we were afraid.
Freaking, I didn't know what the hell was going on. And I'm like, what is going on with her? What is wrong, Mandy? Like, do I need to take her to the vet? What's happening with her?
And that is when I noticed she had a giant bean hanging right out of her buttocks. And it had to happen. It
happened so fast.
It just happened so fast. So what I had to do, without thinking, I grabbed a paper towel. And you know what I did? Terry, do you remember this?
Oh, I do.
I pulled that bean right out of it. Right out of the buttock.
She did. She was the hero. She came to my rescue. She was my knight in shining armor. Well, you know what? That scene was when she went up to Lulu and pulled that bean out. It was like when George Costanza pulled out the golf ball from the whale's blowhole as a marine biologist. Okay. It was like that moment of triumph.
Yeah. Well,
so Mandy saved the day yet again. Because again,
Lulu.
I wasn't going to do that.
No, you were not. And it was pretty gross. I don't even know. I don't.
Okay. Let's not talk about the consistency.
No, I don't want to know I don't know what I did with it after the fact, but whatever. It was just, she's fine.
We disposed of it. Let's go back to the manual labor thing.
My manual labor tasks involve installation and removal of air conditioners, which that's a great fun job, isn't it? Isn't it,
always
people?
Fun time.
Yeah, always a fun time. And frankly, my twin brother Andy tends to come out when like real manual labor is needed. And I'd like to get it done. Okay, Andy, we know you do. We know you love getting it done.
It's great having Andy for a brother. I love having Andy as a brother.
He's the best, Andy.
Oh, so she's done it twice. Mandy's done the old air conditioning installation twice.
Yeah. Well, I've done it for you twice.
Yeah,
I've done it myself enough times. Actually, it was 3 times for you, Terry, I'm pretty sure. The first time was at Terry's old place. It was super hot. It was like
There's a heat wave going on.
Yeah, it was like at the peak of summer in like July, humid, gross.
Hence the absolute need to get that AC unit in the window stat.
I mean, because God forbid you do it before the season actually happens, but that's fine.
I know.
That's fine. So it was gross. I'm sweating like I was wearing like shorts or something. And so my knees are like sliding on the hardwood floor. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, I might...
I'm like, can I get you anything? A screwdriver? Do you need a glass of water or maybe a beer?
And I'm like, no. All I need is a fan. Why is there not a fan on me?
Yeah. So we got the fan going.
Yeah. So Terry did get that.
But
then I got to hang out again. Yes, Andy. It happened again. Andy. Yeah, I got to do it twice. Yep. Andy got to help with the air conditioner installation in Terry's room twice.
In our current place.
Yes. Both times were just last summer, and Terry
within the past year.
Yeah. So Terry got a really heavy, one of those portable ACs, which is perfect to have one of those in the apartment.
It was a good decision.
Yeah. Well, first of all, before we even get to the installation, guess who had to carry that portable AC unit up 2 flights of stairs? Not 1, 2 flights of stairs. Andy did. Andy got to do it. Yeah.
So, Andy, you're so strong.
I know.
Andy, you're my hero, Andy.
Yeah. Get here.
And you know what? Those portable ones, they are not light.
They're not. And the boxes are not really something that's easily carried. They're just awkward.
No, they're like very cumbersome. They're
Yeah.
awkward. They're unwieldy.
Yeah,
And
but
so-
Terry just kind of guided me up the stairs.
Yeah, Andy
Yeah.
did that. So she spent a long time. So again, it was another heat wave, of course, this time too. So it was like, okay, I can't go one more day without an air conditioner. So we've got it, heat wave, and it was pretty annoying. This is not like the easiest installation, that one. That had a few different parts. And so and it was hot as anything, hot as Hades in that room. And she got it all in and she taped it up out the window, all of it. And we started it and it was broken.
Yeah.
So
I was
Andy
really-
had to carry it down
Yep.
2 flights of stairs again.
Andy just like, care, give me all of it. Yeah, and
then-
we know you don't care, but when you're not around, Mandy's kind
Yeah,
of
Mandy
annoyed by
doesn't
it.
like the next day. Her bodice does not feel good after that.
No, my bodice
But then and then she had to carry the new one up and install that one. So that was known as the air conditioning incident.
Yeah, and it was a real fun time.
Yeah, it was
Everyone had a
I'm
blast
sure.
that day.
Yeah, it was awesome. What else? Oh yeah, we also need you around, Mandy. There was that time when my tires needed air pressure.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
All right. We needed tire pressure. Man, would have been good to have a man around at that point who had ever filled tires before and understood how to do the whole tire pressure situation
Yeah.
at the gas station.
Because
Because I didn't even know what the light meant on my dashboard. That was really embarrassing. So yeah, this light was going on. I couldn't locate the light in the user's manual. I Googled everything and I didn't know that it was for the air pressure. Anyway, I brought the car into a mechanic to ask what the light was. And he's like, yeah, that's your air pressure. Yeah. So that was really embarrassing. Okay. I digress.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, pretty much. Next step from there. Okay, great. At least we've diagnosed it. Now we have to go get air in the tires.
Right. No one knew how to do it. And again, obviously Terry wasn't going to be able to A, do it on her own, or B, even try it on her own.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
So I'm dragged along.
And you can imagine the scene. We get to the gas station and Mandy's just aggravated anyway. And so she's performing all the duties of adding the air. So she's like, give it to me. Like, because I'm trying to tell her what to do without knowing what's going on. And
Right.
then she's getting mad. And
The funniest part about it is that, like any dude, I thought I knew what I was doing. It was like I
Yes.
was the classic guy. I'm like, leave me alone. Just pass me the stuff. You're annoying. Yeah. So I mean, our father Jack had given me one
gauge.
of those, a
Just a
gauge or
gauge.
something, some contraption from like circa 1924.
yeah, it's like no one needs this gauge
No one
anymore to
needs
fill their tire
Yeah.
pressure.
So
But
it basically it gauges what the tire pressure is at. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to
It's a
digress.
gauge.
Yeah.
Yes.
The old gauge. So
like, yeah, gauge does that.
yeah, that's what gauges do, Terry.
Yeah,
Everyone- Word of the day, gauge.
Yeah, gauge. McVandy, that's a gauge. Okay.
Mandy, stick with
So, all right. So we don't need the gauge. We're getting annoyed at each other. It's taking so long. Meanwhile, we've like fed the quarters and the thing is going, the air is blowing, it's loud, and we think we know where. We didn't realize you have to look at the damn door jamb and just see what it needs to be set
Right.
to. We didn't know any of
Right.
that.
Or
And-
that the machine itself, like, will actually, once you set it to what the pressure should be, it'll
Yeah,
just
yeah.
automatically
It's-
let you know when it's at
in case anyone didn't know that.
Yeah.
We
You're welcome.
so what happened though, Mandy? Because we're annoyed already, which already would have been funny, just two spinster sisters trying to put air in the tire. But
So,
to make it more stressful,
oh yeah, because then of course we have someone waiting
Yes.
to get into the tire
And
pressure
it's a
thing.
man.
And yeah, and that it's a man. So
with his son.
But yeah, and Terry and I are sitting there yelling at each other, like any.
We're struggling. We're
Yeah.
like the biggest strugglers with this.
And-
With the air. It would have been quite a sight to see.
This guy was like, he was clearly annoyed, and
So aggro.
Yeah, God love him. I probably would have been annoyed too.
Yeah.
But the way this man handled it, Teresa, not okay.
Not okay.
He was like, "Are you guys done yet? Are you going to be done yet?"
He was giving us the stink eye.
Yeah.
And just like, we could hear him like
Yeah.
sighing with his window open.
It was ridiculous, and he's like, "It's just adding air pressure."
as he peels off.
Yeah.
His like parting comment.
Yeah. And I was, as you know, I'm already aggro. I'm ready to like find this dude and cut his tires myself. But this is the thing that just bothered us the most, because we're like, you have your kid in the back
Yeah,
seat.
yeah.
Like,
It's
what kind of role model are you for your child?
What sort of role model is this? Now, let's be honest. He was totally within his rights to be annoyed at us and probably make a crappy comment under his breath at us, because I would have done that.
Yeah, you would have.
I would have. Yeah, I would have
Yeah.
been like, dude, really?
Yeah.
Now I have to drive across this gas station, across the street, fill up my tires.
Yeah. Oh, there's a first world problem.
Yeah,
for
that's
you.
a first world
Yeah,
problem.
100.
Totally.
So
well,
that was-
so
that
that
was
was
fun.
funny. But it was just funny because he was so annoyed and peeled off, and Mandy wouldn't stop talking about it for like the next 4 hours. She was like, you are angry about it. I'm like, dude,
it
he's
was
got
like
a point.
it was like when I get a coffee that's not good.
Yes.
It ruined my day
Yeah, it's
for
like
a few
that.
hours.
It was like that.
I was ready to lose my mind. Well, I did lose it.
You did. You actually did lose.
Yeah, it actually happened.
We have role reversals though that occur in this relationship sometimes. One that I'm thinking of, Mandy, if we look back at these old-fashioned stereotypes, this is very atypical for our relationship. I tend to order food for Mandy. I order for Mandy when we're in restaurants.
Yeah, it's not embarrassing in any way, shape, or form. Like we
It's already bad enough that everyone thinks that we're married.
yeah, they are, because we look nothing alike. We have the same last name, so
We have the same voice. We fight all the time when we're in public. Pull out of a
Subaru.
Mandy drives a Subaru. we two chicks roughly the same age getting out of the Subaru, fighting, and Mandy wears Crocs.
Not all the time. Not all the time.
Everyone assumes that we're a couple.
Yeah.
And we don't like to perpetuate that because it's already embarrassing enough that people think that. But
we don't, but you continue to do it.
I do, and I can't help it. I'm like, I'll be like, no, she doesn't like that.
Yeah. There's one, I remember this one time specifically that we were at some cool pub. The guy came over, the waiter came over and was like, what? It was a brewery type place. I can't even think of the right word. So we were at some brewery and the waiter comes over.
It's like a German gastropub.
Yes, there you go. I'm sorry that I don't have the words that you do.
It had an extensive beer selection, great craft cocktails, great food, great service. We loved this place.
Everything about it was amazing, except for the fact when the waiter came over and was like, what can I get you guys to drink? And Terry ordered hers, and then he's asking me what I want. And I'm like, I don't really know. So I was like asking a question, and Terry's like, she really doesn't like this type of beer or whatever. And then like he proceeded to tell me like what would work. Oh yeah, Terry. Yeah, I think you'd really like that. You'd really like that, man. So I'm like, okay.
I'm like, we'll have this.
Yeah.
We'll have this. Yes.
The waiter walks away and just stared at Terry. I was like, really?
Okay.
Like, you're not helping. You're not helping this in any
I didn't
way.
help that situation.
No. But those things happen quite often.
Yeah, that's a role reversal right there. I will say there are times when I do want another woman in the house, i.e. when I'm choosing nail polish colors. Mandy is no help in that department.
That's because every single one of your nail polish colors are the exact same shade.
Okay, they're not. They're not. They're so different.
So different.
All right, I love Essie, and I have a million Essie shades. Okay, I'm sure many of you do too. I've purchased many that may look eerily similar to the others because I just love it so much. So I buy a bunch of different shades, and I swear they look really different in the Walgreens lighting when I'm looking at them. I'm like, oh no, that's a dark blue. That's so different from the dark purple I have, and so different from the dark brown, which is different from the dark red.
So
they're all
obviously.
Essie, they're all dark, and they're all winter colors. But I'm telling you, you can see the difference in Walgreens. You can't see it at home. And at the end of the day, let's just say they all look black when I put them on at home.
That is accurate.
So Mandy's like the typical male. I'm like, what color should I wear? And here are the options. And Mandy's like, dude, isn't it all the same color?
Because, yeah, I'm like, dude, they are all exactly the same color. Like, what is your problem? They all look black.
Yeah.
So again, we're sisters. We're not married. Although this entire episode has us bickering like a married couple.
Yeah, you might think we are, but
Yeah, that's not true.
see what
But
fun we have?
we have so much fun. Wouldn't you like to hang out with us all the time? And Andy and Dottie.
Oh,
You didn't-
yeah.
Yeah. I
Come
mean,
join the fun every week.
every week.
But you know what we'd love to hear? We'd love to hear if you and your significant other go against defined roles. Or, hey, if you're like us and you live with your sister, which isn't too many, but if you do you guys have roles? Tell us about that. Say more about that.
Say more about that. We would love it.
Until next time,
Deuces.
deuces. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe to the Spinster Sisters podcast on Apple or Google Podcasts or Spotify. And please follow us on social media.
Where our Twitter handle is @SistersSpinster. You can also find us on Instagram @TheSistersSpinster and on Facebook @The Spinster Sisters Podcast. You can also email us at thespinstersisterspodcast@gmail.com. Bye!